Story that most people are talking about is, of course, the fact that the debate is tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, ABC. I believe you can watch the simulcast on CBS too. I'm sure it'll be on some other places, but it's an ABC-run debate, which is concerning right out the gate because it's a network that obviously doesn't like Trump, conservatives, or American values. They'll tell you they do, but they don't. 100% of their coverage positive for Cam. 93% of their coverage negative for Trump. And like usual, I think that it's a pretty safe assumption at this point in this banana republic, this crazy mess of a country that we live in, that she has seen and prepared for the questions that will be asked tonight. And that is the case because, one, we've seen that, and we know that to be true. There's been reporting in the past. But also, her really good friend, Dana Walden, this chick right here, she's the co-chair of Disney, who, of course, owns everything now. She oversees ABC News and has been friends, as my good friend Brianna Morello pointed out, has been friends with Cam for 30-plus years. Was appointed by Joe Biden as a member of the Export Council. Has made thousands upon thousands of dollars in donations to, guess who? Kamala Harris over the last several years. So that's not surprising. No one's shocked by that. You shouldn't be at this point. Hopefully some of you just heard that. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's not fair. Yes, exactly. It's not. Most things aren't these days. But you've got all of that kind of stuff that you know is happening in the background. You've got Cam and her team who wanted desperately to change the rules because they know they're going in with a lame dog. I mean, she's just not good, right? So they've got to have everything set up. So it comes down to there's no notes. Mics will be muted when the other person is speaking. So you can't have the, excuse me, I'm speaking. You can't have that. You can't have the real-time fact checks that the Kamala Harris campaign, the Harris-Walz team wanted to have so that she could just keep interrupting and spewing lies about him. But this is going to be, I think, a very interesting night. This is going to be really telling about a lot of things, right? Because you know she's going to be set up with the moderators for success. You know they're going to be less fair to Trump. So really what it comes down to, I think there's a lot we can talk about this, but it comes down to, does Trump stay professional? You know, don't get into the name calling stuff like he did the last time, like we talked about last time. Not that he sits here and waits for notes from Drew and the team before he does the debates, but he really was cool, calm, and collected. Didn't get into much name calling. You know, there was the banter about the golf handicap, which was dumb, but like outside of that, had a really, I think, strong night against Joe before Joe dropped out or was told he was dropping out. I think the same approach has to be taken tonight. I think it has to be show the people who are undecided that she's an imbecile, because she will make herself look like an imbecile. So let that happen and show them that you can be poised and finger parents, presidential, because that's what some of those folks want to see. Just don't go all out like some of us like. And again, I like when Trump goes off the cuff and attacks because that's just kind of how normal people do things. Not traditionally people in political realms, but walking down the street, grocery store, at work, at the house, people that's what people do, right? They just, what's on your mind? Say it. But there's a lot of people who aren't used to that. They don't like that. It makes them uncomfortable. I hope that he keeps it kind of straight down the fairway, and she just is herself and kind of hangs herself.
Yeah, you know, to me, the appeal of Trump when he first burst onto the scene and was doing all the debates with Jeb Bush's and Ted Cruz and everybody else was the fact that he came in as a brawler. And he was like, Ted, your wife looks like a dog. Jeb, your brother lied and got us into war. Just calling out all these politicians for all the weak things they did. And I don't know if that was a ploy, because the conspiratorial side of me also thinks that when Trump first got in 2015, that he was a ruse. He was there to take attention away from somebody like Jeb Bush, who, the establishment Republicans really wanted to run. And all of a sudden, the way that he came in caught fire. And it kind of backfired, I think, on everybody who may have thought Trump was a setup, and especially the media, because it caught fire on them. But then during the course of his campaign, I think Trump really started to believe that he had a chance of winning. And it was all because he was able to call people out. I know what you're saying about trying to shoot down the middle and become more appealing to people who are sort of on the fence, but that to me turns Trump into a regular politician if he does something like that. I have mixed feelings about it. I am often under the impression of you got to show up to the dance with the girl that brought you there. And as unseemly and as hard to take as Trump is sometimes, I don't know if you necessarily abandon that. There's that old saying in sports: if you're playing not to get hurt, then you'll usually end up getting hurt. And I don't know if the same can be said to wanting him to play straight and narrow. It's kind of like that he did with Biden. Part of the appeal of Trump was not acting like a politician.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, absolutely. And certainly that's what the MAGA crowd wants. They want to see, a dog off his leash. And I get that. To me, Ginger makes a good point. He needs to bite his tongue, she says, especially since she's a woman, because he'll get more heat. I think the media is already going to say we can print the headlines now. The media is going to say Kamala won. They're gonna push that. If there's too many things, though, and I know they're lies, right? But if there's too many things that they can take and blow out of proportion, take out of context, whatever you want to call it, that's where I think it could be problematic for him. Because you can't do what I do all the time here and call Cam a whore. Like, you can't go that route. It's not gonna go well. So I agree. Don't act like a politician. I think there's got to be some sense of measure. Just because with Trump, because this world is so divided, our country's so divided, the MAGA crowd wants him to be aggressive. The other side is already made up their mind about what they think. But there are a lot of people in the middle who are still trying to figure things out. And if he doesn't hurt himself with them, I think he's got a shot. I still think a lot of those undecideds are going to vote the way they always do and just do whatever the media tells them, which is really the biggest problem we have here in this country. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think there's got to be some middle ground. I don't want him to be a pushover. I don't want him to act like a politician. I just don't want him to go full on Trump mode because I don't think it will serve him well. It'll only serve him well with the people who are already voting for him. That's just my take.
Mike Lindell here, and like you, I see our country being destroyed daily. We face massive economic issues, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are people in power who threaten the values that have made our country great. Well, I've been a believer in gold and silver for a long time, and I've searched for years for a partner that shares my values. Well, Genesis Gold Group showed me how easy it is to protect your IRA, 401k, or your retirement with gold and silver. Their faith-driven approach to service and stewardship is one that stands out from the rest.
To get your free definitive gold guide and get started learning more about investing in gold and protecting your retirement from uncertain times, visit treasureandtrust.com now. Fill out the basic contact form and a member of the team will be in touch. Again, that's treasureandtrust.com or call 855-625-7760.